Hi everyone, this is Marina Krasnovid. I hope you are doing well. Thanks for subscribing, your likes and comments. Today I want to reflect on xenophobia and what got me thinking about it in the first place. Confession time. I don't always check comments on the channel regularly, but today I glanced through a few under the video about the burning car and honestly, some of them really made me laugh. Here are a few. Nice video, but had to turn the sound off because of all the commentary. Your commentary is really overkill. We have eyes and can see what is happening. Less is more. But this next one, my personal favorite. You are just a typical anti-American foreigner that is not welcome here. You did not even call 911, did you? You are part of the destruction of the US. Go back to your third world hellhole. You are not welcomed here. I answered calmly. Lots of laughing emojis. That one's for the comment. I'm truly sorry that something inside you feels so hurt that it needs to lash out at strangers. This kind of hatred doesn't come from other. It comes from pain inside. Blaming people who sound different won't fix what's broken in your own life. If you don't uproot that anger, it will rot everything around you, and you deserve better than that. That person deleted their original comment along with my reply and then posted a new one. This YouTuber Marina completely takes down any comments that hurt her little feelings. She is so anti-American. To which I replied more lightly, come on, just admit it. You fell for the accent. That's why you deleted your original comment after reading my reply. After that, I decided I wasn't going to engage with that person anymore. But the whole exchange made me pause. Why do some people who've never seen my face and only heard my voice feel such instant hatred? While I was mulling that over, the same person went on to insult two other people in the comments, and honestly, I just feel sorry for them. Carrying that much hate must be exhausting. I truly hope, sooner rather than later, that God's love reaches their heart and light shines in that wounded soul. Anyway, enough about haters. Let's talk about xenophobia. So, what is this beast called xenophobia, and what do we do with it? It's a scary sounding word, but the reality behind it is all too familiar, especially for anyone who's ever been the other in a foreign country, speaking a foreign language, or just having an accent. Xenophobia comes from two Greek words, xenos, meaning stranger, and phobos, meaning fear. It's the fear or hostility toward what seems foreign, unfamiliar, or different. Sometimes it's aimed at someone of a different nationality, race, religion, or culture. Other times, it's simply someone who talks a little differently. How does it show up? All kinds of ways. Sometimes it's outright aggression, insults, discrimination, rejection. Other times it's quiet. You are not invited, not acknowledged, looked at like you did something wrong just for being not from here. Is it the same as racism? Not quite. Racism is rooted in race or ethnicity. Xenophobia is broader. It can be triggered by anything foreign, an accent, clothes, mannerisms, birthplace, even your name. Where does it come from? Fear, ignorance, a sense of being replaced, feeling like our kind no longer matters. But often it stems from insecurity. People who are afraid inside tend to lash out at those who seem other, not because the other person is bad, but because their own world feels shaky. And xenophobia is dangerous. It divides, it destroys on a personal level. It leads to loneliness, shame, feeling like you don't belong. On a larger scale, conflict, violence, fractured communities, hate. So what do? We change through education, through conversations, through openness, and most of all, through respect. But in doing so, let's not overcorrect by placing one culture, race, or religion above all others. That's not the answer either. We're all foreign to someone, and we're all deep down human. While reflecting on those hateful comments and xenophobia in general, I suddenly asked myself, why did those comments make me laugh? and not get angry. And I started to dig a little. Yes, guilty as charged. I tend to analyze my thoughts and reactions. But it reminded me of my early years as an immigrant. A little backstory first, okay? I was born in the Soviet Union. Just before its collapse, we moved from Siberia to the Ukrainian SSR. As you might remember from your history classes, the USSR was made up of 15 republics that later became independent countries. More than 130 nationalities lived there. People spoke over 100 languages, from Lithuanian to Yakut. In one village, you might find Armenians, Jews, Russians, Chechens, Ukrainians, all side by side, and no one thought it was weird. Of course, there were stereotypes, but overall, we grew up with the understanding that having an accent didn't mean you were stupid. Your grandma might speak one language, you another, and in school you would still speak Russian. Your nationality was part of you, but it wasn't your label. We even had a proverb: they judge by clothes, but part by brains. As kids, we would play outside all day, cops and robbers, hopscotch, running through the forest for berries and mushrooms. All of us together: Russians, Ukrainians, Uzbeks, Kazakhs, Jews, Georgians, Tatars, Yakuts. We didn't judge by skin color or eye shape. We looked at character. Are you honest? Are you reliable? Can I trust you in the trenches? Then came 1991. The USSR vanished. Suddenly, we were all citizens of different countries. And that's when I learned that having an accent could feel like a crime. If you spoke differently, you were fair game. But you know what? I never became bitter, because deep down I remember diversity doesn't threaten, it enriches. And that's what I want to say in response to xenophobia, not with shouting, but with living. In 1993, my family legally immigrated to the United States. My dad and I started working right away. My siblings were still little. We never lived on welfare. We worked hard, sometimes 2 jobs each, and yet God always provided. We never went hungry or without shelter. Back then, I didn't have a car, but I was determined to find a second job. My English, it sucked. Well, actually more than that. A grand total of 300 words. No real grammar. I used the pocket dictionary and scribbled down a note. I am sorry, I do not speak English. I am looking for a job. I wrote it phonetically, walked from store to store, and showed it to people. Everywhere I went, they said no. Either no jobs available or sorry, your English sucks. The last place I tried was a big, beautiful Safeway grocery store. The building itself seemed to say, don't even bother. But something inside me whispered, go in and ask. So I did. I found an employee, showed my little note, and this kind man, maybe in his mid-40s, smiled and said, I'm sorry, I don't speak Russian, but I do have a job for you. Turns out he was the manager. With God's help and my pocket dictionary, we agreed I could work as a grocery bagger. He even taught me the phrase, would you like a help out? Not everyone was that kind. One guy, after I turned down his offer to go on a date, started mocking my accent. I didn't react. I knew it came from hurt pride. Another time, a woman helping me fill out a job application said I couldn't check white for race because I wasn't born in the US. I asked her, if we stand side by side and stay silent, can anyone tell which one of us is whiter? She had no answer. I laughed it off, but I knew ignorance can wear many faces. 3 years later, my English has improved. I could understand 90% of what was said to me and express myself clearly. I transferred to a different Safeway. There, the manager kept asking me to repeat every sentence over and over and over, but he didn't do that to other workers, even those with worse English. That's when I realized it wasn't about language. For some people, you'll always be not quite one of us, and that's their loss. They miss out on getting to know a different world through a real person, not a screen, to hear what another life sounds like, to taste new food, see old things in a new light, expand their view, not in theory, but in lived experience. And in the end, to simply connect with someone kind, thoughtful, and strong who's lived through a lot. Encounters like that change you, but only if you are open enough to let them. In 32 years as an immigrant, I've had many awkward or hurtful experiences because of my accent, but I've never held it against anyone. I honestly just feel sorry for them. Even later in life, with fluent English, I would hear, sorry, we can't hire you in our office because of your accent. And I would just move on thinking, you're lost. Because honestly, I am awesome. I am super cool. I've got a great personality. I'm smart, hardworking, and easy to get along with. It's not me who missed out, it's you. And I kept going, knocking on new doors, because I believed when the time was right, God would open the right one. So if you're going through something similar, if people don't understand you, mock your accent, ignore you, won't hire you, I want to tell you something. Your accent is nothing to be ashamed of. It's a trace of your journey, proof that you know more than one world. That's your story. That your story has chapters written in a different land, in a different tongue, with different colors and sounds, and still you are here. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy of respect. You already have courage, strength, and trust in God because you chose to begin again in a new country. Don't let someone else's fear destroy your kindness. That gentleness in you, that's real strength. It's what keeps you joyful even in tough seasons. Yes, some days you'll feel hurt, exhausted. Even a passing glare might sting more than silence. But always remember, you are not alone. God walks beside you, and in the hardest moments, He carries you. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, God will never let you to be tested beyond your strength. He'll always provide a way through. That verse has carried me many times. And I know there are thousands like us. One day, someone else will hear your voice and think, if they made it, maybe I can too. Yes, even after 32 years in the US, I still have my accent. But I know character and voice matter more than pronunciation. And if someone doesn't like my accent, that's fine. It's a free country, right? There are plenty of other channels to watch. That's my kitchen table rambling for today. Maybe I'm overthinking it, or maybe not. Share your thoughts. Let's figure it out together. Take care and see you soon on YouTube or at marinakrasnavid.com.